the prince who walked away. Before he was called Ewuare, before coral beads rested heavily on his chest, he was Prince Ogun. The palace of Benin was not always calm. The throne was sacred, yes, but sacred things attract struggle. Edo traditions speak of rivalry within the court, of chiefs divided in loyalty, of succession contested after the death of an Oba. In such times, walls hear more than they should. Prince Ogun did not inherit peace. He inherited suspicion, and so he left, not because he lacked courage, but because survival sometimes walks before victory. He moved through forests where the only witnesses were trees and spirits. Exile, in our history, is not merely punishment. It is instruction. Away from palace corridors, the prince learned silence. He observed how other rulers governed. He learned that power without structure collapses. He learned patience. Benin, meanwhile, trembled. A kingdom without firm authority begins to loosen at the edges. And somewhere beyond its walls, the prince was changing. Some men returned from exile defeated. Others returned sharpened. When Ogun returned, he did not return as a fugitive. He returned as a claimant. Oral accounts suggest the kingdom was already fractured. Alliances formed quietly. Loyalties shifted like dry leaves in harmattan wind. What followed was conflict, controlled, purposeful, political. This was not chaos. It was consolidation. He prevailed, and when he took the throne, he did something deliberate. He took a new name, Ewuare, often interpreted to mean, the trouble has ceased. In African kingship, a name is not decoration. It is destiny announced aloud. By renaming himself, he declared an era closed and another opened. The coronation was not spectacle, it was restoration. Chiefs knelt in order. The ebon sword of authority rested in his hand. Coral beads, red as the earth of Benin, marked him as both ruler and ritual center. But peace does not mean softness. It means control. War wins a throne. Wisdom keeps it. Historians generally agree that Ewuare's reign in the mid-15th century reshaped Benin profoundly. He reorganized the hierarchy of chiefs, clarified authority, and strengthened palace administration. Titles were structured, duties defined, power centralized. The Oba was no longer merely first among nobles. He became the axis. Urban traditions attribute major redesigns of Benin City to his era. Moats and ramparts, part of a vast earthwork system built across centuries, reinforced the city's defenses. Roads aligned with intention. The palace complex expanded. This was governance with vision. And then expansion followed. By the late 1400s, evidence suggests Benin's influence extended far beyond its original boundaries. Through campaigns, tribute systems, and political incorporation, surrounding territories acknowledged its authority. The kingdom was becoming an empire, not loudly, but steadily. Empires often grow the way trees do, quietly, root by root. Near the end of the 15th century, Portuguese ships reached the West African coast. Contact with Benin began shortly after Ewuare's reign, but what they encountered was his creation. European accounts described a large, orderly city, straight streets, structured governance, a powerful monarch. This did not surprise Benin. Trade began: ivory, pepper, textiles. Later, firearms would enter the exchange. But this was not submission. The Oba controlled access. Foreigners operated within rules set by the court. Benin did not discover power through Europe. It negotiated from power. When Europe arrived, Benin was already standing tall. We remember Ewuare not only because he fought. We remember him because he built. He stabilized a fragile throne. He reorganized authority. He expanded influence. He strengthened sacred kingship. Under rulers who followed, Benin's artistic traditions, especially bronze casting, flourished spectacularly. But foundations matter, and his were firm. Historians call his reign transformational, not because of legend, but because institutions endured. Empires are not accidents. They are engineered, patiently, deliberately, by hands that understand both force and restraint. And when the world finally took notice of Benin's grandeur, it was seeing the result of work done long before. At the center of that work stood a man who once walked alone in exile, Prince Ogun, Oba Ewuare. The trouble had ceased, but the empire had begun. Like, subscribe, and turn on the notification to this YouTube channel.